are synths people? Last episode we talked about the Institute and its treatment of synthetic intelligences, and some of you took issue with my implication that synths are legitimately thinking, feeling, sentient creatures, and that what the Institute does with them doesn't constitute slavery. Which you may not be wrong to call me out on.
Data is not sentient, no.
The basic premise is this. Robots, or artificial intelligences, were created by humans for a reason. And whatever that reason is, it doesn't really matter. They're a tool, like a washing machine or a hammer. They're more complex, sure, but they're designed to complete more complex tasks, like diagnosing medical conditions, or innovating new ideas, or beating us at Jeopardy! Regardless, anything that may incidentally resemble what we perceive as free will or self-awareness is an illusion. It's just a bunch of programming, a directive put there by humans, either as an accidental consequence or put there on purpose to make it easier for us to interface with them. You know, because it's easier to interact with something that acts human than something that doesn't. Robots aren't sentient because they aren't self-aware like we humans are. While they may outwardly display the patterns and mannerisms of humanity and intelligence, they don't experience the experience of being alive. I mean, you know what I'm talking about, right? I mean, you're sentient, and you know the feeling of being conscious. I mean, you're conscious right now, watching this video. I mean, just look at it. Just feel the feeling of it. We all know the experience of being human. I mean, issues of politics, race, gender, and religion aside, it's the one unifying truth about our species. And we're convinced that no man-made object, no matter how sophisticated their circuitry is, could ever truly capture the richness of the human experience, especially not something that was designed to wash floors. I mean, college students aren't ditching class to protest against the mistreatment of Roombas. All right, let's step out of the realm of fantasy for a second and take a look at something that actually exists. It's way more complex than a Roomba. Watson. Watson is a computer system developed by IBM that was designed to answer questions asked in natural language. As a test of its capabilities, Watson was pitted against the best contestants the game show Jeopardy had ever seen, and cleaned house. He totally wrecked the competition. Watson was capable of recognizing the fucking weird-ass structure of Jeopardy questions, search its archives, and compose an answer in the similarly ridiculous answer format. So what about Watson? I mean, clearly doesn't have any pretenses of thoughts or emotions yet, and it doesn't have a face of any kind, but can we at least agree that it's a powerful thinking machine? Well, not necessarily, it turns out. Philosopher John Searle and others like him claim that Watson doesn't think because it doesn't truly understand. It doesn't have a sense of self or an understanding of actual meaning in Jeopardy answers and questions. It's just a complicated program that recognizes patterns and symbols and spits back the correct sequence of ones and zeros based upon its predetermined programming parameters. It's not conscious. What if it's not that simple? You see, earlier I said that we all know what it means to be conscious because we're conscious all the time. So, cool. What is consciousness? Is it being like awake? Because that's what I think of it as, but I bet you probably answered with something different, like memories, experiences, senses. Is it something uniquely human, maybe? You know, one thing that's uniquely human is our neocortex. You know, the outside part of your brain, the one with all the wrinkles on it. You know, lots of other mammals have a neocortex, but nobody has a neocortex like ours. It's only 4 millimeters thick, but because of all the wrinkles increasing its surface area, it actually takes up almost 80% of our brain, which is good because that's where like all of our higher level reasoning exists. Reading, writing, speech, the angry comment you're writing underneath the video right now telling me how stupid I am, all of it comes from the neocortex. The neocortex is responsible for every single human innovation, from stone tools to writing to the steam engine to the computer. The human brain is immensely complicated, but it does seem to have a hierarchical structure that follows certain rules. In the book How to Create a Mind, Ray Kurzweil, a major pioneer in the field of machine learning, details algorithms about how our neocortex recognizes various patterns in our environment on a micro level and pieces them together to create whole pictures and ideas, what he calls the pattern recognition theory of mind. It's not without its critics, but it does get to the root of the main problem. What is our brain if not a wet biological computer? A machine that's made out of cells and not silicon chips. I mean, hell, it even runs off electricity. So what separates us from machines? Well, as with everything in life, the answer lies with zombies. Okay, no, not those zombies, and not schools either. No, I'm talking about something very specific. The zombies of philosopher David Chalmers. A zombie in Chalmers' world is something that is human in every conceivable way. It acts exactly like a person does in any given circumstance. It laughs at jokes, it acts offended when insulted, it expresses fear and pain when injured. The only difference between a zombie and you and me is that a zombie lacks subjective experience or consciousness. It's just not there. So let's say you're at work or school with a bunch of normal folk and a bunch of zombies. How would you tell the difference between normal people and zombies? And remember, they act and look human in every way. They're not unemotional robots. There's no Voight-Kampff test to determine their psychological status. If they're not convincingly human in every way, it doesn't fit the criteria of the experiment. So if something acts and looks humans but lacks the ineffable experience of consciousness, how do you tell? Okay, the answer is you can't. So what is consciousness?
Prove to the court that I am sentient.
Kurzweil has his own idea. He says, consciousness is an emergent property of a complex physical system. In this view, a dog is also conscious, but somewhat less than a human, and an ant has some level of consciousness too, but much less than a dog. He goes on to say that a computer that's capable of emulating a human brain completely will have the same consciousness of a human. That's kind of ridiculous, right? I mean, we're not actually gonna have to worry about that outside of Fallout 4 and the Institute, are we? Well, turns out, actually, yes. Henry Markram is the head of the Blue Brain Project, whose goal is to completely simulate the human brain. Like, in 2005, they successfully simulated a human neuron, and in 2008, they simulated an entire neocortical column of a rat. Their current target for full brain emulation is 2023. That's 8 years from now. And scientists at IBM, in a completely different project, have created a cell-by-cell simulation of parts of the human visual neocortex. So I'm getting near the end of the video here, and I've like barely scratched the surface of this issue. I mean, there's no easy answers out there. In a world of simulated neurons and neocortexes, science and philosophy aren't prepared to help us yet. And these problems aren't unimportant. Like, consciousness and free will are at the heart of our strictest laws and most controversial political issues. Like, you can go to prison for the rest of your life for extinguishing someone else's consciousness. Like, and sometimes we'll even take yours away as punishment. And we don't even know what consciousness is. As things like Watson, Siri, and Google get more complex, capable, and self-reliant, and the Institute, Fallout 4, Mass Effect, and Halo less and less resemble fiction, these issues are only going to become more and more important. I mean, we laugh at the idea now, but there was a time when putting a man on the moon was considered ridiculous, and tablets were considered an unattainable technology only seen in Star Trek, and Pip-Boys, computers on your wrist, were just some wacky invention by game developers. Someday soon, these issues will be more important than who will fight against the Reapers in Mass Effect or who's gonna be your ally in the Wasteland in Fallout 4. So personally, I think if you believe that free will and consciousness are actual things that actually exist, then you have to accept that synthetic intelligences have them too. I mean, can you really say that something that's capable of telling a joke and asking questions and learning and getting offended at someone telling it that it isn't actually real just because its emotions are digital and not analog doesn't have free will or awareness? Is it a leap of faith? Totally. Like, but not much more of a leap of faith than me believing that you, someone who's not me, are also conscious while watching this video. I mean, to exist every day is to take certain things on faith. And personally, I'd rather err on the side of presuming more things are conscious than actually are than potentially mistreating a sentient creature just because I don't understand it, or him, or her. And what do you think? Are machines capable of sentience and consciousness? Are sentience and consciousness even real things? I mean, there's so much more than I could get into in one video or 10 and 100 videos. So I definitely encourage you to explore it on your own. And if you're curious, if you're a reader, you should totally pick up Kurzweil's book, How to Create a Mind. Or if you're lazy and don't want to read, you could also watch this Star Trek episode that totally covers the same thing. And even if you don't agree, that's a good place to start. Anyway, I will see you guys in a couple of weeks.